Well, we had a very exciting first round. This was game one. Our opponent just didn't show up. They timed out, so I will see everybody for round two instead. Yes! Okay, we get to fire off round two, and hopefully our opponent shows up this time. Looks like they are here. And this is definitely keepable. The plains is a little awkward, but I do get a Cloudfin Raptor on turn one, which is, like, the important thing. Not to mention I have the possibility of getting Sage's Row Denizen down fairly early. Oh, okay, alright, well, I mean... yeah, that'll happen. Mugging is a good card. My fins have been mugged. Uh-oh. Didn't hit a land, and our opponent hit a very good 2-drop. I think we might be about to get run over here. Maybe. Is opponent also going to miss land? Because that would be great. No, never mind. No, opponent's going to hit land, and then hit a good card. Got it. Land? Hey, it's a land. Check that out. It's a land. Alright, do I want to Death's Approach the Warmind or Disciple and then try and, like, hit off of Sage's Row Denizen soon? Ugh. And that is not great, but I don't know that I have a lot better option. Because I'm going to tap out for the next couple turns. I'm going to try and mill. So I guess that this is fine. Like, there's a possibility that I just don't draw land, and I don't get to mill my opponent right away. So I'll just Death's Approach that. It's more likely that the Disciple the Old Way will die to the Death's Approach, so I'll use it now. Yeah, opponent knows the power of 2-drops. They're doing this format correctly. Getting those Disciples online. Oh, I could steal Warmind Infantry with the Soul Ransom. It's tapped is the problem. Is that worth it? I take 6 damage. Maybe. I'm gonna go with the Soul Ransom here. Let's pass the turn. And see if our opponent's willing to discard their cards to take back the Warmind. No, not so far, so that's kind of nice. Get Denizen. If we get a land, then we can go Keyrune into Death Cult. Mill them a little bit. Now they're going to discard, let me draw 2. Yep. 2 lands. Yeah. Alright. Smart opponent. Opponent plays really well. Opponent's done a great job playing here. I have to chump the Warmind, but that basically just means that I'm dead. Oh, I'm super dead anyways. Okay, well, there you go. Opponent top deck pit fight. And we get run over. And this is exactly why the slower Dimir deck is not as useful as you'd think. Because it's just... yeah, it's got some decent cards. Like Call the Nightwing gets you a lot of incremental value. It's got some unblockable creatures. But they're all just a little bit slower than like a really good Gruul deck. And that's a problem. Because, like, yeah, I can Soul Ransom something, but then they just discard 2 useless cards and keep smashing. And it takes a little while to get your actual draw off of it. Maybe shouldn't have even used the Soul Ransom there. Might want to just not bothered. I don't think I have any good changes either. Like, another Clinging in Enemies isn't great. I don't want to make the deck slower. And I don't want to cut any of the top end, because the rest of the top end is a lot better than Clinging in Enemies, and I do need some way to win. So, yeah, I'm just going to send it back. Said not excited about that, but what do you do? Oof. Well, mulligan? Keep this or not keep this? Ugh. Doesn't help that these hands have not been great right now. Really, really bad hand, last one, and this one's not much better. Yeah, I don't think I can go to 5, and I can probably scry land at the top. Alright, I mean, this is slow, but it's what we have. Hopefully we can find some good way to mill them and get this Death's Approach online. Wasteland Viper is annoying, but clinging in enemies is really good here, so I can take 1 damage for quite a few turns. If they put like a Madcap skills on this, then I'm in trouble, but don't see that happening just yet, which is pretty good. Okay. So far, so good. Wouldn't mind getting... Oh my god. Oh my god. Are they gonna fight the Death Cult on the Wasteland Viper? That would kind of make sense. Just because otherwise Domri is dying. Because they can't stop the Death Cult Rogue. Yeah. Yeah, that's a thing. I was gonna say that I wouldn't mind if drawing a key rune so that I could Stolen Identity onto our Death Cult Rogue, but I guess that's not happening. So let's play our Defender into our opponent's Domri raid when we need to kill it. Yep, that's a problem. Opponent hits off the Domri. Domri is just an absurd bomb. So it's a constant, like, 50% of the time draw kind of thing, and then... Well, I wouldn't say 50%, I guess, but it's a constant draw or just kill spell, which is... yeah, it's a tough one to beat. Well, the opponent can minus to kill the Cloudfin Raptor, but then at least Warmind Infantry would be dead. In the meantime, I just have to hope that I draw a... Either a land... Actually, a land would work. Because if I get a land, then I can Stolen Identity, make a copy of Warmind, evolve the Cloudfin Raptor, attack, make another copy with Stolen Identity. So that's a thing. How much damage to a player? So I can't hit Domri would be the problem. Do I Death's Approach the Warmind? It would mean that Domri can't use the Warmind to fight the Cloudfin Raptor if I get the land, so I think that we do. If we get land, we evolve this into a 1-2, and then Domri can't use the Warmind Infantry to fight it. Might be able to use something else, but it's worth trying, I guess. I mean, opponent has 6 cards in hand, we have 1. I would say that that's a pretty bad sign for us. Just as a quick guess. Alright, missed this time, that's good. And pit fight. Yeah, alright, before we can actually do what we need to. That's not good. Got the land. But it's not what we wanted. They can use pit fight. They can use the Domri to fight. I could Stolen Identity onto our copy of Warmind. How do I get through then, though? That's the problem. Because right now, it'll still just be a blocker. It's not going to do anything for a little while. I don't know that I have a better option, and I need to have something that's pressuring Domri. I guess I could wait, see if I can't hit something better, or if my opponent gives me like a flyer or a haste creature. Ugh. I think I'm just going to have to Stolen Identity here. And hope that I find some kind of removal spell for the Warmind and that my opponent just doesn't have anything. Like, if I can get, like, a Balustrade Spy and it kills the Warmind, maybe I have a chance. They just don't have any way to block the Warmind, so I can attack and get a Cipher. Oh, there's that Assembled Legion I passed. Opponent's deck is pretty good. Yeah, that's not what I wanted to hit. Can't attack in without losing Warmind, which doesn't do anything, so... Guess we're probably losing to Assembled Legion. I mean, we were already losing to Domri, but now our opponent has 2 Planeswalkers, basically. And one that escalates very, very quickly. Assembled Legion quickly becomes unstoppable. Scorchwalker. Okay. Riot Gear. That's the first really bad card I've seen our opponent play. This card's pretty unplayable. But, I mean, doesn't really matter when you're backing it up with a bunch of giant bombs. And I shouldn't be talking about what's unplayable and what's not. We are playing a bunch of clinging in enemies and things just to try and make our deck work. Well, I think, speaking of work, we are flooding out again. And our opponent's got a bunch of bombs. Some mythics, some nastiness. I think we are pretty dead. Had to mulligan, keep a pretty mediocre hand, and our opponent had to pit fight when they needed it for the Death Cult. So, yeah, seems bad. I can't think of any way out of this. I can play the Sage's Row Denizen, but that doesn't do enough. We're not going to mill them out fast enough at this point. Just too slow. I'd have loved to have gotten Stolen Identity onto a Sage's Row, like, at some point. Like, or, well, with a Sage's Row out and be able to Death Cult, like, Stolen Identity and just keep copying Sage's Row, because that does end up killing people very, very quickly. That'd have been a fun thing to do. Didn't get there, though. Deck wasn't like A+. We didn't get any Grizzly Spectacles. We only had 2 Sage's Row Denizens. Didn't really have enough reason to be in Dimir. We just didn't get the cards. It's weird because Dimir's been very open for the last little while just because nobody really wants to be Dimir. But for whatever reason, like, I don't know, this time it just seemed like we got cut off of Dimir really hard. Somebody else was really trying to get it to work. Which is too bad, because I needed it to be something that was a little more open. Hollow Knight Wing's cool. I mean, if we had time, if it wasn't for Assembled Legion Domri raid, the mythic rare combo of Domri Assemble is pretty solid. Now they're just going to get an emblem. Give everything double strike, haste, trample, flying, hexproof. Okay, that's what it was. I'm like, there's something else that it gives them. Okay, yeah, there we go. Just to show off, opponent is also showing us a Girl Charm because, you know, why not? When you're already that far ahead, gotta show the Grubbins. No better time to give your opponent a little bit of BM. But that was a little bit interesting. I wish that I could have played a little bit more of the match, but I got run over by Domri, which is pretty common. Domri's an insane card. Our opponent's deck was very good. They were playing a very, very solid Gruul deck in a flashback draft where it seemed like Gruul was very open and not a lot of people knew what cards to take. For a lot of Gruul decks, like, I mean, we saw Disciples going extremely late. We saw the Gruul Charm really, really late. So we saw a bunch of those cards just going around and around and around really, really late. So I think that our opponent just kind of got the pick of whatever they wanted and just rolled people. And I would be very surprised not to see them just win the whole thing. Domri and Assembled Legion, either one of them is damn near unbeatable. And having both in the same deck, plus just having a very, very solid deck around them, is probably something that nobody in our pod can handle. Like I said, the Gruul deck looked really, really open, so I'm not surprised to get rolled by it when somebody actually knew what they were doing and drafted the right cards for it, the Disciples and stuff. But it was interesting anyways, and I hope that you guys try out a little bit of Gatecrash Draft, because it's certainly a lot of fun. Next week, we're going to be delving into cubes, so I'm excited for that, because the Vintage Cube is back up around the holidays, and we get to continue our weird holiday flashbacks and cubes, and have a little bit more fun with Full Force, not be learning a new format, and we'll be getting into Aether Revolt right away in January. We'll kind of go ahead with some early review kind of stuff with it, and we'll be moving on to that soon. So I'm excited to see some spoilers, and I'm excited to play a little bit of Cube in the next week. I hope everybody has a wonderful holidays. Charmbreaker Devils, Sage of Fables, ooh. Oh, Basilisk Caller. Never mind. All those go by the wayside. Sage of Fables would be my pick, because we have a lot of wizards. We've got a lot of wizard sub-theme, but Basilisk Caller is just so much better than anything else in this pack by miles for us.